talk about because we have this new front that's headed our way. Let's get over to our chief meteorologist, Chris Holcomb, to talk about that. Hey, Chris.
Yes, not just headed our way, it's here. And it's been here for a while. We're watching it move through our area right now. That leading edge is all the way all over to South Carolina already. But as that's been moving in, our temperature in Atlanta has been creeping up a little bit, but the temperatures over to the Northeast Georgia area have been slowly moving up, and there are many spots there where those temperatures are still below freezing. So this has been the second wave throughout the afternoon that we've been watching additional sleet and additional freezing rain that has been pushing through parts of Northeast Georgia. And that's all the pink that you see there over Northeast Georgia, and even in some North Metro counties, as Cheryl was just mentioning there, in parts of Forsyth County, North Gwinnett County, Hall County, still seeing some of that mixing there as those temperatures try to come up just a little bit more. So this is what we were telling you about this morning that was going to be the big question mark into the afternoon, is how much or how strong this rain would be coming in and the warm air with it, and whether or not it would be able to overtake this wedge that has also been very strong and just settled in over Northeast Georgia. So that battle is on right now, and we're just seeing temperatures slowly beginning to come up in Northeast Georgia. But this second wave is causing additional problems. I just talked to one of my sources up in North Georgia who works for one of the EMCs, and he said that this second wave is causing problems now at some of the EMCs with additional power outages. We have seen spikes in those power outages too, and even power outages in the metro area, not necessarily Northeast Georgia, just because of the wind that was in association with this wave, that leading edge as it was coming through. This is rain here in metro Atlanta as our temperatures are still above freezing, and we're going to stay above freezing here. We're thinking till around midnight tonight. So if we could just get this rain to exit, which we think is going to happen most likely around 6 o'clock tonight with the back edge that's going to be moving through. And then we would have about 6 hours of drying with the wind and with the colder air coming in. But then after midnight, we think we're going to get below freezing again. So whatever moisture is left on the ground tonight is going to freeze up, we think, after midnight and stay frozen into tomorrow morning when we're going to be down to around 25 degrees. There's the back edge right now. Northwest Georgia, already seeing the rain ending in parts of Dade, Walker County, and up into parts of near Dalton and Whitfield County. So that's the back edge that's going to keep sliding our way tonight. And again, we still have the tornado watch in effect in Southwest Georgia. Amazing to think we have had confirmed tornadoes in Southwest Georgia. And in Northeast Georgia, we're talking about freezing rain moving through. Here's another view looking at Athens, in the Athens east of the city, where they have had sleet and some freezing rain. And you can just see how slick it is. I also had a friend of mine text me from Athens that everything was pretty much spot on there with the ice that was collecting on the trees and kind of weighing down the trees there too. This camera is improving at Georgia Tech. We showed this to you earlier, and our lens was frozen over. It still can't see clearly through that, but at least we're seeing some improvements, and maybe that ice that's on that lens is beginning to melt just a little bit. So here's a look at these temperatures. We were at and below freezing for a bit this morning, and then we started seeing those temperatures coming up. We're at 36 last hour. We're still at 36 now. I was hoping we might come up another degree or two, but we're still holding at 36 degrees out there right now. In fact, there's that wedge in that blue color you see there, 36 here. Canton 32, Gainesville 32, Athens has come up to 31, still at or below freezing in many of these spots though as that rain continues to push on through. Melissa Nord joins us there now. So Melissa, the timing is really critical this evening to get rid of this rain. We'll have about 6 hours or so to try to dry up the roads, but if that doesn't dry out before we drop to freezing and it turns into ice again, we're stuck with it through tomorrow morning.
We are absolutely. And Chris, we're waiting on to see if those roads can dry out are the winds, but it's a double-edged sword because the winds may help dry out the roads, but the winds blowing that weighted down ice in the tree limbs and the power lines could actually increase the power outages even more. I was just checking the numbers, 108,000 customers without power throughout the state between EMCs and municipal co-ops and also Georgia Power customers combined. So we do have, outage numbers that have been going up this afternoon, especially on that eastern side of the metro. Of course, Northeast Georgia we knew was going to be the bullseye, but I've got a lot of friends out in Gwinnett County saying, my power the last couple of hours has either been flickering on and off or it's been out for a couple of hours and it's back on again, or there's a lot of outages that are building on that eastern side as those trees are really getting weighted down in our next layer of moisture that's been moving through. So through early this evening, as Chris was showing you, we've got that one steady swath of moisture moving in. In northeast Georgia, where the wedge has been strongest, this is not just a plain rain. It is still freezing rain falling. I know it did initially start as some sleet pellets in some areas, but it's pretty much transitioned over to a cold freezing rain at this point. What does that mean? It means another layer of ice, and in some cases another quarter to a half inch of ice accretion on those trees and power lines where the temperatures are most stubborn and cold. So that's what we expect. More of those trees to be weighted down, the outages going up between now and 9 o'clock tonight, and then just rain to the southwest. But as we head through the overnight, Jennifer and Ron, we're going to be watching those outages as the temperatures fall and the winds increase. That could be a kind of a nasty recipe of roads plus outages for first thing tomorrow morning.